fascist.
But I just want to say Turning Point USA is a evil company that was funded by thousands of fracking companies, and that just...
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me in this first episode of Armel Think with Armel reaction series. We're going to be doing reaction to some interesting videos. I just thought this is going to be a fun series for us to do together. So we're going to be looking at a video where Charlie Kirk is on campus. He's talking to some kids, trying to get them to wake up, basically. Thank you all for joining. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, like, share, comment, and subscribe. That way, every time I publish a new video, you'll be the first to know. Thank you all for helping on this one. Let's
You create a company that's like close to being a fascist, and then like...
Okay. Well, how am I?
Sorry.
Let's go through this. How am I a fascist?
Dude, like
Can you name one thing I believe that's fascist?
you believe that like you are... But
I'm such a bad fascist. I let the people who disagree in open mic to talk to me for 2 hours uninterrupted.
Okay.
I'm an awful fascist. I'm more like a free speech liberal of the 1970s, not a fascist.
But I just want to say Turning Point USA is a evil company that was funded by thousands of fracking companies, and that just...
No, it's not thousands, but we do have some frackers that give us money. But
yeah, and then all it is making the rich more rich.
Fascism to fracking.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Okay, again, I'm happy to have a debate. I can see you're getting kind of fired up.
I'm sorry.
So, but why are we evil? Like, we're having a nice discussion.
Because
all of a sudden you're calling me like
because
a fascist.
It seems like you just want the rich get even more rich. Like,
we haven't talked about the rich at all. I mean, so you don't even know my positions on this stuff at all. And by the way, just so we're clear, the wealthiest counties in the country all vote for Democrats. You know that, right? 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in the country vote for Democrats. The wealthiest people, absent Elon Musk, are all on the left. Jeff Bezos, George Soros, Mark Benioff, Mark Zuckerberg, Laureen Powell Jobs. On the left, yes. The richer you are, the more likely you are to be a Democrat and on the left.
Explain that to me, please.
This is what always breaks the brains of these kids. They are caught up in the MSM, and they are on campuses where they just throw out these crazy philosophies around how anybody that is supporting Trump is a fascist, is a dictator, wannabe, is a evil person, is a bad person. And sometimes they tell them with some facts that are actually incorrect. Like they'll tell them crazy things about why he's racist. They'll quote the fact that he didn't rent his apartment to black people. If anything, and I really think that story is true, if anything, that shows that the man went from being a racist to an unracist today. That shows that back then he was racist and now he's racist, because from where I stand, I look at policy and I'll be hard pressed to find a single policy that this specific individual, that's the current leader of the Republican Party, has pushed that is actually racist. I'll be hard pressed, because personality matters, but I do think policies more than anything matters. And there's an argument to be made that if somebody is racist, therefore the policies they're going to make is racist. That is fair. However, if what you're saying is true, then Trump should have implemented racist policies. They're telling you he wants to be a dictator. They're telling you he's going to ban abortion nationwide. They're telling you he's going to do this. You do realize he's been in office 4 years. And none of what they say he will do or he has done is actually true. They spend time taking his speeches out of context, talking about the bloodbath thing, talking about the fact that he's a felon when they've just launched a lawfare against him. This is why I say that America is beginning to feel a lot like where I came from. I come from a country where there's a dictator. I come from a country where there's no freedom of speech. I come from a country where you get put in jail, you get locked up if you speak up. And trust me, and when that happens, people instead of instead for the people to defend you, people are telling you to shut up. Why did you speak? This is what happens when you speak. So the whole population has been trained to sit down, shut up, and do as they're told. And it's very interesting that I'm in America where it's supposed to be a country where there's free speech, and somehow people keep thinking that this country is so bad. This country is nowhere near perfect, but I can tell you, I've been to at least two countries, my country, Cameroon, and this country, and America is far, far light years ahead better than Cameroon. Quote me anywhere.
The numbers speak for itself. The Democrats are the party of the oligarchy.
True.
Can you name one tech CEO outside of Elon Musk that is a conservative?
I personally think.
He can't, because there's none. All of them. Google's, Amazon's, Spotify's, all of them. The only other one that's coming up is Rumble. The people that are trying to create a platform that rivalizes YouTube. Rumble. It's not even that they are conservative. They are just not left leaning. They are open mic type of situation. They are for freedom of speech. So you'll be hard pressed to find any super rich tech billionaire that is supporting Trump. They are all leaning, at least in the public view. Now, my opinion is that low key, in secret, they support him. They're probably gonna vote for him. They might even give him money and just tell him to shut up about it. But yeah, as far as public PR goes, everybody's against Trump, and that doesn't help.
Peter Thiel.
Yeah, that's one. That's one.
Peter Thiel. Okay, yeah,
Larry
that's true.
Page, Google, on the left, worth $120 billion. Sergey Brin, Google, $130 billion on the left. Lorraine Powell Jobs, Mackenzie Bezos, Jeff Bezos.
If they're on the left, what has they done that was like quote unquote to do the left stuff?
Well, okay, so Larry Page gives money to left-wing NGOs all the time.
Like, if you're on the left, I don't think you will ever be this rich.
Well, they are. You know why?
See, that is the crazy delusion that these kids live in. That, well, if they are on the left, they won't be this crazy rich. Young man, they are crazy rich, and they are on the left. That's just facts.
Why? Because the
But
left
because they're not.
No,
because they're not.
The left is a scam. The left uses
How
peop-
is this
Let
scam?
me tell you why. It's a good question, actually. The left uses people like you that think that, oh, we're going to fight the rich. Well, they protect their oligarchy, while you guys have to keep on working hard and never own any.
Now, I'm gonna caveat this by saying this phenomenon is actually true on both sides. So you have super rich, powerful people that support Trump. You also have super rich, powerful people that support Harris. However, statistically, if you look at the ratio of the rich people that support Trump versus the rich people that support Harris, there's no comparison. It's like 10, it's like 100 to 1. Yeah. But
Anything when we conservatives are the ones that actually want to restore the American middle class and bring jobs back to this
How
country.
would you
And hold on,
restore?
let me finish. The left uses people like you every day, and they use people on you by the trans thing, the abortion thing. Keep voting for us because the fascists are going to take your rights away. When who's funding the left? The richest people. George Soros. Do you know who George Soros is?
Who is funding? Dude, I have never seen
Okay.
a leftist
Again.
organization come to campus spreading their propagandas.
Well, because the whole university is a leftist organization
No, it's
spreading
not.
propaganda.
It's liberal.
it's you ever heard the saying that the wolf in sheep clothing? That's what this is. He's right. The whole freaking campus is the left. That's why you don't. That's why I say sometimes when you have been in shit for long, if you stay in deep shit for long enough, you quit smelling it. It's like a sensory adaptation, right? If you walk into a building that is pungent, it hits you like, ooh, this stinks. Now stay in that building for a couple of hours. After a while, you don't smell it. It's like, what happened? Well, if you stay in shit long enough, you don't even smell. You can't even tell that you're in shit because that seems normal to you. That's basically what's happened to most campuses in America. So sad. You pay tens of thousands of dollars for your kids to end up like this. But you know what? I used to be one of these kids. When I first moved here, I didn't know better. I thought I was a Democrat. I I thought every person that was in the Republican Party was racist. Because, I mean, I had just gotten here, you know. This is my third election cycle. I didn't know any better. Took me a few years to wake up, and you know how people say the left is woke? I actually think that people on the right are woke and people on the left are asleep. So the real woke people is us over here. Yeah, I think most Republicans are actually woke. Most Democrats are actually asleep. That's my opinion.
There
Yeah,
is a
but
clear cut
Kind of like when I say sleep, they're like not literally, figuratively, obviously. It's like the Agent Smith in Matrix. Like anybody that is not aware of the reality of their existence get co-opted and you become part of the problem that is oppressing everybody else, yourself included. Unless you wake up from it, yeah, you're like Agent Smith. This is an Agent Smith. He just doesn't know it.
difference
but
between a leftist and a liberal. Please make
you're
that
coming
right.
after this in a good way because I'll just say Democrat politics, okay?
Okay.
Almost every major, powerful, wealthy person in the country, over $100 billion in net worth, with the exception of one person, Elon Musk, is on the cultural left and gives money to the left. Mark Zuckerberg gave $400 million in the 2020 election to help get Joe Biden reelected through the Center for Technology and Civic Life. Mackenzie Bezos.
That helps his case. Obviously, he would donate money to his.
Oh, okay, but hold on. One second. Mackenzie Bezos with $45 billion, major Biden backer. Laurene Powell Jobs worth $20 billion. Steve Jobs' widow, one of the most radical left-wingers in the Emerson Collective. Mark Benioff from Salesforce worth $12 billion. One of the most radical left-wing guys that you'll see out there. The eBay guy, Omador, one radical left-wing. It's so important for you on the left. You guys are being scammed and gamed, because they talk a good game about building the middle class, but it is not the party of democracy. It's the party of oligarchy. And you can go fact check me tonight.
Okay.
And you might actually have cognitive dissonance. Type in this: wealthiest counties in the country. They almost all vote for Joe Biden. Who gives the most political donations to the left? All the wealthy people. Go look up the top billionaires on the Forbes list, the top 100. Only about 10 of them give the Republican, the other 80 give the Democrat, the other 10 don't give at all. It is mind-blowing when you realize the shift in power the last 10 years. Republicans used to be the party of the rich. You know what changed? We nominated a class traitor as our nominee, Donald Trump. As soon as Donald Trump became our nominee, all the billionaires said, we don't want him anymore. He talks about things we don't like. He wants to end the wars, close the border, bring jobs back to this country. We want to keep on supporting a political.
That's why I like this guy, because he's honest enough to say that just because Republican are the party of the people today, that doesn't mean they always were. But right now, in this moment in time, they actually are. And ever so often, that's why sometimes you see people switching parties for different reasons. But in this case, that's why I say every every person, that's why you need to be, your vote and your affiliation to any political party needs to be based on policy, because policies change. It's just like in 2016. Let me use an example. In 2016, the Republican Party's stance, is it 2016 or 2020? Anyways, prior to 2024, the Republican stance on abortion was they wanted abortion to be banned nationwide. That's why that point keeps coming up with the Kamala Harrises of the world and the leftists of the world. But right now, in this moment in time, the Republican stance on abortion is no national ban. It is up to the states. Roe v. Wade was reversed and every state decide. That is the stance. That's why I say you have to go by policy. Don't just go by saying that, no, you know what? Because my granddad was Republican, because my dad was Republican, I'm just going to go Republican. Look at the guy, what's his name? The Barstool guy. His dad is a staunch Democrat, but he's Republican, right? Because his dad has his reasons, but he's going off of policy. He's looking at the policy and he's saying, you know what? This policy makes sense. I may not even like them, but why would I vote against my interest? Why would I vote against the interest of the country I love? That's just the way it is.
Political party that doesn't want any of that stuff. Explain to me how Joe Biden represents the working class in this country. He doesn't.
He very much supports the unions.
See, that he talks a good game. That's why I say the problem is that these kids are listening to MSM and they are in a campus where these same things get told over and over, but it's an actual lie when you look at the facts of what he actually does. You can talk a good game of, oh, I care about this, care about that. Why the hell did they, you know what? Let me let that go. I
It's
just
a
So
I'm just all over the place. I'm sorry.
Oh, hold on a second. The union or the union bosses?
the
Big
U-
difference. The union bosses supporting the rank and file love Trump. The UAW loved Trump more than Biden. The carpenters union loved Trump more than Biden. The police union. The point is this, is that the Democrat Party.
It's very interesting that recently the IRS, the union of the IRS workers, the people that collect our tax, the people that collect money from our paycheck, they're supporting Harris. See, people, you have to dissociate person from politics. I mean, persons from policy. You could have a guy that may be unlikable, and there's always an argument to be made that if somebody is like this, then his policies are gonna tend to be like this. That's a fair rationale, right? However, in this specific use case, context is everything. In this context, we have a track record of 4 years of President Donald Trump. We also have a track record of 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration. When you look at the record, forget about the fact that Kamala Harris said XYZ. Forget about the fact that she wanted to take our guns. Like this is a good example. There's an argument to be made that Harris didn't take our guns in these 4 years, right? At the same time, there's also a clear argument to be made that she is open to taking our guns. But you cannot say that in these 4 years she took the guns. That is true. She didn't. In the same way, you could say that back in 2016, Trump was racist, or back in 2016, he he said he was going to close the border. There's a difference between people's personality, what they say, and actually what they do. Even though there tends to be a correlation, you still have to look at the context. You still have to look at the facts, and the facts say Trump's track record is better on economy. His track record is relatively better on the border. His track record is relatively better when it comes to foreign policy. There were no new wars. Everybody that just looks at the facts, forget about the fact that his name is Trump. His name could be Bill Clinton. His name could be Barack Obama. Look at the track record, people. What does it tell you?
They are sitting on a house of cards of young activists that truly want to go like crush the rich. And there is some truth to that. Like there's a very rich oligarchy in this country that remains rich and stays rich off of gaming government systems and public policy. And you guys give them a free pass because you think that we're fascists when in reality, we're the ones that are actually fighting to destroy the oligarchy the most.
And usually when Charlie does this, it just shuts them up and breaks their brains. They don't understand because they have been in shit for so long that finally they begin to smell the shit they're in because they got out of it and smell some fresh air, and then they turn down like, that does smell like shit.
All right, last question.
Last point.
Last question. Let's say so you do want to fight for the American middle class, and
That's
how,
my yes.
Okay,
that's
how does freer the market like helps with the middle
again,
class?
I want precision in free markets, but
How does free market support the middle class?
Again, I'm not puritanical, but I think that generally more choices are a good thing. I think that generally supporting entrepreneurs is positive, but I think that mass immigration is really bad for American workers.
There's no mass immigration.
Well,
There is mass immigration. Well, actually, there is mass illegal immigration. Yes, there is.
first of all, how many people are? Wow. Well, you're right.
What,
There is mass invasion, but how many people are coming across the southern border every day?
I don't know, but like
It's a record number in record history. Man, it's insane.
No,
It's
I'm
not-
actually genuinely curious. Can you guess?
okay, on what time frame?
Every day.
Every day? 500?
Yeah. It's at its low point. It's at 10,000 right now. It was 15,000 last month. So what is that annualized? Let's play that out.
A lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's mass immigration, right? How many green cards do we give out every year?
Probably a lot.
Yeah, a lot. About
Yeah.
1.2 million,
Well,
right?
what's wrong with giving out green
I'm
cards?
not saying anything wrong. No, you said there's no mass migration. So I'm just
Okay.
trying to tell you, we do have mass migration, right?
Okay.
We have 3 million on the southern border, and then we have 1 million green cards, right? That's 4 million a year, right? Which is basically bigger than most U.S. states. Now, everything comes with a cost. When you have mass migration, you're going to get lower wages. But that means you're going to disenfranchise American workers. What, are you studying computer science?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so you're an American born, I'm guessing, American raised? I don't want to assume.
I wasn't, but
okay.
I moved to the U.S.
Okay, well, you're an American now, I guess. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
or you're
I
on a
am.
Student visa? Okay, you're going to now have to compete. You're kind of proving my point, but that's a separate issue. You're now going to have to compete against foreign labor for your computer science jobs. I think we have a moral obligation to American-born workers to
This is something that I kind of half agree with Charlie on, but I also disagree because he puts that's why some people call him a nationalist. He is. I'm not a nationalist in the true sense of it, even though I think MAGA makes sense. The point that I disagree with Charlie on is that he thinks that H1Bs should be should be curbed. He's basically a purist nationalist that if you are born and raised in the USA, you have to come first. It doesn't matter if it's a matter of social services, if it's job, if it's opportunity. I get that. I agree with that. But pragmatic, that's why I say you always have to mix ideology and pragmatism. If you look at it practically, it just turns out that there's a lot of great talent that just wasn't born here. And if America adopts a posture where it's just America first without being pragmatic enough to understand that, hey, sometimes you need to recruit the LeBron Jameses and the Michael Jacksons of the world that may not be American. If you don't factor that in, you actually end up hurting America. But outside of that, I generally agree with what he's saying.
give them preference and priority and restrict the labor supply so that our computer science majors can have higher wages, not to have suppressed wages so some tech CEO can bring in a bunch of Indians and
Because if you really apply Charlie's premises without, if you apply his premise of that you put America first without regard to legal immigration talent through H1B through F1s, then that deletes Elon Musk, that deletes David Sachs, that deletes Jamaat Palihapitiya, that deletes David Friedberg, and many, many, many CEOs that have created tremendous value in the US. That's where I disagree with him. And I think that I'm right on this because the facts do show that one of the greatest American achievers of our time were native born Americans. Point blank, period. Elon Musk proves my point.
suppress their, no, nothing against Indians, but just, bring down their wages.
Personally, I just think that, if you came to America and then receive a green card, I think you get to work however you want.
I think that American-born citizens
and then
should
there
be
shouldn't
given,
be a priority because they're American citizens.
Well, that's what,
See, that's why. Well, another thing that I want to call out here, you have to understand nuance, right? So when it comes down to this specific issue, there's a reason why America has an immigration policy. There's American lottery. There's a reason why there's a process to come here because America as a nation understands that you can't have it all. You may have all the resources, you may have the strategic advantages, but you do need talent from outside of America. It doesn't matter how you cut it. That is just the way it is. Because if you shut down American immigration 100%, in a way you force Americans to do more. That is fair. However, practically and strategically speaking, that is not the smartest way to go about it. The smartest way to go about this is actually shutting down the illegal immigration and then optimizing legal immigration for the type of talent we want. That is the best way to do it.
that's where we're different. I actually think you must have a priority to your own citizens or else you don't have a government. You have something
True.
else.
That is true.
If you don't have a priority to your own people, I don't know what you have. You have a colony, not a country. You're just a big economy. Mm-hmm. And that's fine if that's your position. By the way, your position is held by the ruling elite, where I think that we should have a country, not just a colony, where the American-born citizens should be given preference over foreigners. Nothing against foreigners. I think they're nice people, but the Americans should be given first preference. And by the way, any sane country believes that. We're like the only country in the world that says, and certain European countries, come on in and take whatever